Hello guys, welcome to the video. So today in this video, we are going to discuss about a test called as jet test. So first is first, what is this jet test and why it is useful? Because for example, let us consider that we have two means, one is population mean and one is sample mean. And let us think that a person is claiming a population mean to be something, and in order to check whether that can be correct or not, another person has taken the sample of the population and calculated the mean of that particular sample. So in order to check whether the sample mean will fit with respect to population mean or not, that means in order to compare two population mean and a sample mean, what we will do is we will take the help of a test called as jet test, and we will do hypothesis testing using it, and we will accept the null hypothesis or reject it based on the experiments which we have done. So first of all, let me go you through the problem statement that the average latte contains 8 ounces. That means the average is going to be 8. That means this is the population mean, which is going to be 8, and it has a standard deviation of 0.75 ounces. But a person got doubt whether this could be correct or not. So what he has done is he has taken a sample of 25 litres. Out of all the population, he has taken 25 litres, and he has counted the average of the coffee found, and he found that this was just 7.5. Because in the population, it was claimed that it was 8, but while doing a sample for 25 items, he has found that it is to be just 7.5 ounces. So now the problem to us is to test the coffee shop's claim at 5% level of significance, that whether it would be possible or not. That means whether we can prove that the average of the population could be less than 8 or not, because here we have found that for sample 7.5. So we have to check whether population data is correct or not. So for that, we may do hypothesis testing, and I may write my null hypothesis as H naught, which is equal to, I may take it like mu is equal to 8. That means this is the given statement, mu is equal to 8. But my alternating hypothesis should be mu is less than 8, because for sample we got 7.5, that is given in the problem. So first of all, let me write you all the terms which were given. Mu is 8 because the population mean is given as 8 with a standard deviation of 0.75, and a total of 25 laterals were taken per sample, which has a mean of, that means sample mean of 7.5, and also they had given a significance level of 5%. That means my alpha should be like 0.05 out of 1. So first of all, let me draw a graph, and I'll show you what is the region where there could be something which is in the critical point, could be in a key area, that means rejection area. So I may draw a graph or distribution like this for the given question, and I may consider that this is the mean. I'll take this as 8, and we have to climb at a 5% level of significance. That means we have to divide this into 2 parts, and we have to consider all this part as confidence interval, which is going to be 95%, because 100 minus 5% is going to be 95%. If this part is 95%, obviously this part is going to be 5%, which is going to be 0.05 out of total, if we consider this area as 1 point. So now our point is to find the jet test based on the given data, and to check whether the jet test values, critical value from the jet test table will be greater than this point, this p, that means 0.05 or not. That means if we calculate the Z test value and find the critical value at that position, and if we check for the p value here, if my critical value is less than my p value, I can consider to reject the null hypothesis. But if it is greater than the p value, I can consider it as I have to reject the null hypothesis and I have to retain the alternate hypothesis. So this is my p value. So now my duty is to find a value called critical value, and I have to compare it with p value, which is this one, 0.05. So in order to calculate that particular p value, first of all, we have p value. In order to calculate the critical value, first of all, we have to find the Z value. So my Z could be something like x bar minus mu. That means sample mean minus population mean divided by sigma by root n. That means given standard deviation of the population, which was going to be divided by square root of n. So now I can write this as x bar is 7.5 minus mu, which is going to be 8, divided by my sigma is 0.75, which is going to be divided by square root of n. That means square root of 25, which is going to be 5. So after all the calculations, we may get some value like minus 2.5. So this is the value of Z test. So with respect to this Z value, we have to find the critical value and we have to compare that critical value with p value. If the critical value is greater than p value, I can consider the null hypothesis and I can accept it. But if it is less than p value, that means 0.05, I have to reject the null hypothesis and I have to go through the alternate hypothesis. Now, with respect to minus 2.5, let us find the value of critical value from the Z table. You can find the Z table from Google by typing Z table PDF, and you will get something like this when you enter into any of their website after searching in Google. So we have to find Z with respect to 2.5. So here is 2.5, and after 2.5 we don't have any more decimal points, so I can consider this column and this row. So that is going to be my Z value is going to be minus 2.5. So that's why my critical value is going to be 0.00621. I'll write it here. So my critical value is equal to 0.0621. It is 0.00621. So that means this 0.00621, that is critical value, is really very, very less than the p value. So it might be positioned at anywhere in this direction of the p. So we may consider that it is somewhat at this point. So since my p value is greater than my critical value, that means my critical value is really very, very less than my p value, I can reject this null hypothesis and I can stick on to this alternate hypothesis. So my conclusion will be, we have rejected null hypothesis, which is nothing but h naught. That means mu is equal to 8. So my answer would be something like mu is definitely less than 8. So this is all about today's video. We have covered about Z test. So I'm explaining it to you once again. So what we can do with Z test is that, first of all, in the question they will give as the population mean, and they will also give us some data with respect to sample mean. So we have to find whether that the population mean which is claimed is correct or not. We can do that by using hypothesis testing, which we have given here, and then we have to draw the distribution, and with respect to the significance level, we have to find the confidence level, and we have to find the p-value out of 1 for the significance level, which is going to be 0.05 in this example, and we have to mark the p-value here. And after marking the p-value with respect to the given data, we have to find the z value, and with respect to that z value, we have to find the critical value from the z table. And after finding the critical value of z test value, we got some value like 0.00621, which will lies really almost to the left side of the value of p. So that's why this is going to be somewhere at this position. So my critical value now is really very less than my p value. That means p value is nothing but the area where the rejection will start. So we are rejected the h naught, that means mu is equal to 8, and we have been stickered to alternate hypothesis called as mu is less than 8. So this is all about today's video, and let us meet in the next video with much more topics like f test, t test, chi-square test, etc. and etc. So this is all about today, and thanking you.